So, Michelle, since you are our onboarding specialist, I thought we'd talk a little bit today about how we can help owners get their property rent ready. You know, maybe some things that they could do while they're still living in the house, and even some of our processes and procedures. Maybe we could explain that to them a little bit so they'll know the why.
Sure.
So when you go to a property and you're talking to the owners about things they can do right now, what are some of those things?
Sure. So I think some important things are changing the air filters. They can make sure all the rooms are painted, that there's no visible holes in the wall or repairs that need to be done on the walls. They can make sure all the bedrooms and bathrooms have blinds in the windows. If they have curtain rods up, they can keep the curtain rods but take away the curtains. You can leave the rods.
I feel like a lot of times you've gone to properties and you found a lot of personal items. Why can't owners leave their personal things like grills and trampolines and curtains?
Yeah, sure. Some of those things are liabilities for tenants, and other things is when a tenant walks into a property, they just expect to walk into a brand new, clean, nothing in their property. They want to be able to fill it with their own stuff. So it's very important that owners take all of their personal items out. Grills, trampolines, stuff in the attic, just anything, stuff in closets, just take it all.
Can they leave a ladder?
No, please take the ladder. Please take the ladder.
I know that's one thing that they're always worried about. Well, they might need a ladder to change the filter. And
Sure.
I just don't think owners sometimes understand the liability that they might experience by leaving things like a ladder, a lawnmower, a weed eater.
Yes.
And let's talk a little bit too about washers and dryers.
Yeah,
why,
for sure.
Why do we think they should take the washer and dryer?
Yes, we recommend that they definitely take the washer and dryer. Those are two appliances that just tend to break down the most often and end up being just a cost to owners. So we always recommend just to take them out. A lot of people usually have washers and dryers too these days, so it's not something that I think people will detract them from renting if your property doesn't have one.
Yeah, I that's a really good point, and that's something I try to bring across, and I know you do as well. Also, talk to me a little bit about, you know, things they could do on the exterior of the house.
Yeah, sure. So I think an important thing is to make sure your house looks clean. So maybe getting it pressure washed if there's any dirt in the side or mold or anything like that. Making sure trees are cut away from the sides of the property in the front. If you have beds in the front, making sure maybe they're mulched or have pine straw down, making sure the grass is cut. Just how you'd want your yard to look if you were moving in somewhere.
Yeah. And do we want tenants cleaning the gutters? Or would we rather have the owners clean the gutters?
Yes, we highly recommend that the gutters are coming in clean.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, that's a little bit more of one of those liability things again.
For sure.
And when they move out, what are you going to help them with, and what are you going to do?
So once you move out, I'm going to go back to your property and do a full inspection. I'm going to go in every room and make sure everything that needs to be done, I'll document it, and I'll send you guys that list, and we'll go over it together. From painting, cleaning, door openers, just making sure everything is in order. And we'll go over that list. I'll send you prices, and I can coordinate all the repairs on your behalf, or you're more than welcome to get your own people to do the work as well.
Sure. And can they also, should they be like collecting their warranty information on anything?
Yeah, and I'll ask you for that, making sure you give me all the information, the account number, when it expires, any preferred vendors you'd want to work with, and I'll put all that in your file.
Yeah, what about vendors? Can, your brother-in-law come do something while there's a tenant in place, or should we talk to them a little bit about what kind of vendors should we be using?
Yeah, we usually like to use our vendors. We just know that they'll be there in time and in a timely manner and do the work. And it'd also be most expedient. So we do recommend using our vendors.
Yeah. And we do like for them to be like licensed, bonded, and insured, not just somebody off the street coming in. You don't want them touching your electrical work.
Yeah, knowing that it'll be done right.
Yeah. And I noticed too, like a lot of properties I've been going into recently, the stoppers or the drains are not functioning properly, and the faucets.
That's true, or they don't have one. So yeah, make sure those are working properly, that the water will stay in the sink when they're down, and that they all have one. They need to be there.
Yeah, and then you're going to contact them too about coordinating picture day. Sometimes if the property's far out, we might go ahead and take pictures with their items still in the home.
Sure.
And then you'll do a whole nother set of photos. What's some of the things they could do to get ready for picture day?
Yeah, sure. So we can start off by making sure the front yard looks good, that your cars aren't in the driveway. And then when I go into the property, making sure that there's the least amount of clutter you can have on countertops and in bathrooms, making sure your toilet seats are down. If you do need a room to put all your boxes as you're beginning to move, I cannot photograph one bedroom. You can just call that a stuff room, and I won't go in there, and I'll take another set of photos when I go back. Another thing to remember is I don't photograph garages or closets, so you can also utilize that space to put your extra stuff in.
That's really good. And I think too, having those photos after they move out, that allows us to put the property back in advertising when the current tenant gives us notice.
Yeah.
So we can start trying to pre-lease the property. But one of the other things I get a lot from owners too is like, oh, I'll clean it. I can clean the house. Tell us why it should be a professional cleaning.
Sure. I think that's very important. And I think people do think they can do it themselves. And I'm sure people can clean. But to get it to the point where you want to walk into a house and just see it like brand new, clean, we recommend professional cleaning. We require professional cleaning. That is from ceiling to floor, ceiling fans, baseboards, windows, blinds, all those items will get clean. And when I go back to inspect it, and if I notice something that's really not up to our standards, I can call our vendors and they'll come back out and they'll fix it and take care of it. So it is up to our standards.
Yeah.
So that's why I really recommend using our people.
Yeah, I think that's too. We've got a couple of really great vendors that actually can do even more than just the cleaning. But I also kind of want to talk about when we say standards, I think it's really me recently being a tenant myself and wanting to move into a property that was clean, and mine was clean. Had it not been clean, it's a huge disappointment. I think it even starts the tenant off on the wrong foot.
Yeah.
So if they need help, let's say they move out on Saturday and you're coming in Monday, what are some of the things you could help them with once they move out, say if they run out of time?
Sure. Yeah, I can go ahead and schedule your property to be cleaned pretty quickly. I can get your carpets cleaned. That is something that we do require on every turn. So I can schedule that. And any other painting or any other odd jobs that you couldn't have time to do, I'm happy to walk it and make a list and schedule those on your behalf.
Yeah. So we're just really here to help, and you're really here to help them get that property rent ready so we can rent it as quickly as possible. So we look forward to working, and Michelle and I we try to help you as best that we can, and we do try to be the experts in this field. So we hope you'll be receptive to what we have to offer, and we look forward to working with you.